So this is my ranking of every NFC quarterback this season. I appreciate all the support in the last video and all the people asking me to make this. We are going off of the same criteria as the last one. We're going off of individual performance. We are going off of team performance. And for rookies, we are going to cut them a little bit of a pass, not much, but just a decent amount. Keep in mind they are probably going to get better. There is only one rookie on here, and I'm a little biased towards it. We'll get to that when we get to it. If you guys are new to this channel and you do want to see some more videos like this in the future, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel once again if you haven't already. And with that said, let's get right into it. With Carolina, was a little tough. There are two quarterbacks that have started about the majority of the season each. Number 17, Cam Newton. Cam Newton has been ass this season. No, he does not have a great amount of weapons. However, he's just not been good. That's the thing. 55% completion, 4 touchdowns, 5 picks. Panthers are 0-5 when he's starting. There's not really an excuse, in my opinion, for Cam Newton to be this bad, especially considering he was pretty decent last year in New England. I don't know what necessarily happened, but I'm hoping Cam does get better throughout, because this is just, it's horrible to watch. I feel so bad for Panthers fans. Speaking of feeling bad for Panthers fans, number 16, Sam Darnold. If Cam Newton was not signed by the Panthers this season, Sam Darnold would be the worst quarterback in the entire conference. And in my opinion, it's not particularly close. 58% completion, about 2,200 yards, 7 touchdowns, 11 picks, 2 lost fumbles. He does have 5 rushing touchdowns, but he still has more turnovers than touchdowns. And the Panthers are 4-6 when he plays. I feel bad about Sam Darnold because he's still a young player, and he had a good stretch to start out the year. Just unfortunately, those habits that he picked up while he was with the Jets, he brought with him to Carolina. I'm hoping he can go somewhere and have a good and productive career, but I just don't see that happening unless it's in a backup capacity. Number 15, Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is probably the most bipolar player I've ever seen in my life. He had the greatest start to his career. He had 26 touchdowns, 12 picks in his rookie year, to now being one of the worst quarterbacks I've seen in a very long time. He's throwing a decent percentage, 64% completion. He has 10 touchdowns on the year, 7 picks. He has 3 fumbles that he's lost, and the Giants are 4-7. The Giants are another team I feel bad for, but don't worry, guys. He's going to have another chance to prove himself next year. Oh my god, I am so sorry. Number 14, Justin Fields. As a Bears fan, it pains me to rank him this low, but you gotta be honest, he's not been great this season. I very much so overhyped him for his very first year. I thought he was going to be like a Justin Herbert type where he was just going to have a fantastic year off the bat. But I was very, very wrong about that. And honestly, it's on me for doing that. Justin Fields, though, considering he has not even been terrible for a rookie quarterback, 59% completion, 7 touchdowns, 10 picks, 15 total turnovers if you count fumbles. Bears are currently 3-9, but there is one positive to the season. He has 72 attempts, 420 yards, and he's averaging 6.9 yards per attempt. I'm actually 3 years old. Number 13, Jared Goff. This is how you know I'm not biased when I rank Jared Goff over Justin Fields. Goff is a player that I feel is very overrated as well as overhated. 67% completion, 17 touchdowns, 8 picks. He's lost the ball 6 times through fumbles, and the Lions are 2-10-1. If they want to get some decent weapons and throw them around Goff, then honestly, I don't think he'd be half bad next year, but in my opinion, I don't think the Lions are going to keep Goff past this year. Number 12, Jameis Winston. This was kind of tough for me because there have been 4 starting quarterbacks for the Saints this season, but Winston has been the most consistent one up to this point. Winston was 5-2 in the starts that he did have. 59% completion, 14 touchdowns, 3 picks. He averaged about 170 or 160 yards passing per game, which is honestly insane. He did fumble the ball once and lost it, so he's had 4 total turnovers in a 7-game period. He tore his ACL, I believe, on Christmas, but hopefully he's able to come back next year and he still has his job and whatnot, and I think he still will. He showed a lot of improvement from his last couple of years. Number 11, Matt Ryan. I just feel bad for the Falcons as a whole since that Super Bowl loss against New England. They've just been on the sharp decline, offensively and defensively. Aside from Cordell Patterson and Kyle Pitts, Matt Ryan has not had many weapons this season. He's still not even having a bad year. 68% completion, 19 touchdowns, 11 picks. He's fumbled the ball 3 times for loss, and the Falcons are currently 7-8. They need some weapons around him, need to build around their defense, and I think they could do something next year, but I'm not 100% sure. Either way, though, I feel bad for Matt Ryan. He's going to turn 37 next year, and he is only going to decline more. Number 10, Taylor Heinicke. Unless you were a big XFL fan like I was, you didn't know who Taylor Heinicke was going into the 2021 NFL playoffs until he took Tom Brady and the Buccaneers to their limit. When Ryan Fitzpatrick went down, Washington decided to put him in. 65% completion, 20 touchdowns, 14 picks on the year, 2 lost fumbles, so 16 total turnovers on 21 total touchdowns. And the football team are currently 6-8. He has some good weapons around him: Antonio Gibson, Logan Thomas when they're healthy, Terry McLaurin. Their defense dropped off dramatically, which is probably the biggest reason why they are not in a playoff spot right now. Hopefully next year they're able to figure some stuff out, or not, because they're a very weird franchise. Like, their front office is so fucking weird. Number 9, Jimmy Garoppolo. He's similar to Jared Goff in my opinion, where he is very overrated and overhated. 68% completion, about 3,500 yards, 19 touchdowns, 10 picks. He lost 3 of those fumbles. He has 3 rushing touchdowns, so pretty much get that right back. And the Niners are currently 8-6. And they'd have a better record if COVID protocols and injuries did not completely screw them over. You still have some fantastic weapons in Deebo Samuel and George Kittle. If the team can get somewhat healthy before playoff time, I feel like they could be one of the most dangerous teams in the NFC. Number 8, Jalen Hurts. I like Jalen Hurts a lot. Reminds me of a Lamar Jackson type player who's one of my favorite players. 61% completion, 16 touchdowns, 9 picks, 740 rushing yards, second most in the NFL for a quarterback besides Lamar Jackson. 10 touchdowns rushing and only 2 lost fumbles. The Eagles are currently 7-7 and they do look playoff bound. They have no receiving core outside Dallas Goedert and Miles Sanders. They have no actual pure wide receivers that are actually good, unless you count J.J. Arcega-Whiteside and Jalen Reagor to be elite. And if you do, then you clearly don't watch football. I think he'll get better each year, just like need some weapons around him desperately. Number 7, Russell Wilson. Given the fact that Russell Wilson missed about a month of the season, he's honestly had a solid year, despite the Seahawks being so bad. 65% completion, 18 touchdowns, 5 picks, and the Seahawks are currently 4-8. I think Pete Carroll honestly needs to retire at this point. I have not been a big fan of Pete Carroll the last couple of years. That and their defense is honestly horrendous. I think Russ as a whole should honestly go to a team like Denver, Pittsburgh, somewhere like that with some nice promising receivers where he can build around it and maybe build a championship contender. But hey, what do I know? DK Metcalf sucks, by the way. He sold me in fantasy all year. I went 2-12. Number 6, Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins has honestly had a very fantastic year. I was going to rank him lower until I realized how good of a year he had. 66% completion, 30 touchdowns, 7 picks. Vikings are currently 7-8, and that's because I believe their defense and their head coach, Mike Zimmer, sucks. I think they elevate that a bit more, then they have a better record. But offensively, they have a very good team. There should not really be much of a reason why they are this fast. Number 5, Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford, honestly, for a long time has been one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the league, but now he's under the bright lights of LA, so now he has a lot more opportunity to show it. 67% completion, 36 touchdowns, 13 picks, about 4,300 passing yards, and the Rams are 11-4. In my opinion, the Rams are going to get out of the NFC and go to the Super Bowl. Let's see if it materializes, but they have one of the best defenses and arguably the best offense in the entire conference. So who knows? Number 4, Kyler Murray. If Kyler Murray didn't get hurt and the Cardinals kept playing their brand of football, then Kyler Murray's the undisputed MVP in my opinion. But even though Kyler Murray was hurt, but he's still been having a solid year. 69% completion, 21 touchdowns, 10 picks. He's fumbled the ball 13 times but did not lose a single fumble. Cardinals are 8-4 and they're struggling heavy right now without DeAndre Hopkins. I'm rooting for him, but I just don't know if they're going to be able to do it. Number 3, Dak Prescott. Considering what he's gone through mentally and physically the last couple of years, it's amazing he's still able to play football at a winning level. He is 10-4 currently, 69% completion, 29 touchdowns, 10 picks. He has fumbled the ball 5 times for a loss, so 15 total turnovers. And it's honestly fantastic. He has one of the best offenses and one of the best defenses in football. And I do feel like the Cowboys can be a dark horse in the NFC. Number 2, Tom Brady. Tom Brady, in my opinion, is the greatest quarterback of all time. I don't think there's really much disputing it with how much he's accomplished. And the fact that at 44 or 45, he's still able to play at a very high level. 67% completion, about 4,600 yards, 37 touchdowns, 11 picks, and the Bucs are 11-4. His only hang-up right now is that his entire team, offensively and defensively and coaching, all of his teammates are going down with COVID protocols and with injuries, season ending, week by week, day by day, you name them. So it'll be interesting to see how he does when the Bucs limp into the playoffs. But yeah, I don't know. I'm actually curious to see how he does. And number 1, as much as I hate to admit it, Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, I do not really like him as a player. Honestly, as a person, he's kind of weird too, but we're not going to get into that. He's having a fantastic season, 68% completion. He has one of the best passer ratings I've ever seen, 33 touchdowns, 4 picks, and he's doing it all in a little more than 150 passes less than what Tom Brady has thrown this season. Tom Brady's completed 53 less passes than Aaron Rodgers has attempted. Packers are 12-2 when he plays, and in my opinion, Aaron Rodgers is the MVP this season. I don't really think there's much debate about it, unless Jonathan Taylor wins, which I'd love to see, but they hate running backs, unless you're named Lamar Jackson. Oh, okay, I'm gonna go jump out the window now. Those are my rankings for the top NFC quarterbacks for the season. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Let me know what video you would like to see next. If you guys did enjoy today's video, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe once again if you haven't already. Again, the like goal is 10. If we can get to 10 likes, I'd be very, very appreciative. That's it for me though. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.